I have a problem in my life. It's raking sand. I don't like doing it, and nobody that works for me likes doing it. So we need to, think of something that can rake the sand. I guess we were thinking of graders and like spring teeth you pull through there, or some kind of a leveling device of some kind. And Rich got the idea that some kind of a rotary thing would do better, so he went home and worked on it. We probably raked for 3 years.
Okay.
2 years, 3 years. With a cement rake.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we use lawn rakes. We tried every kind of rake there is.
Yeah.
But it's just it's unreasonable to think that you or anybody else is going to do that every day. It's just too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you only had 40 cows, but if you got hundreds of cows, it's just too much work. It gives your cow a nice, well-groomed, clean, aerated place to lay down, and that's when they make their milk, when they're laying down. It's you can control this thing to put the proper amount of pitch on your sand if you want it like this, or if you want it level, you can do that. I like mine pitched a little to for drainage. A cow's drainage. A cow should lay uphill, a little bit.
Nice.
Gets the right kind of drainage that she needs to stay healthy. See,
Yeah.
so we put a little pitch on it like that. It's one of the things that's helped us be profitable. It's one of the things. The TMR is another thing. 3 times milking is another thing. The sand bedding and the sand bedding rake is another one of those things. You look back over the years and say, well, that really helped. I asked my grandma, what was the best invention in your lifetime? Well, it was electricity. It made their lives better. Well, in this case, Sandman makes our life better. Time, it's fast. It's fast. I mean, a guy, a girl, a guy, anybody that can drive a skid steer can go rake your stalls in 5 to 10 minutes. It just makes sand bedding work. At the same time, we started the Sandman, and our production went from a typical average of 74 to 76 pounds. So now we typically average 86 to 92. Cell counts, yeah. That's of course that's a big thing. Of course it is. We've had historically a very low cell count. It's unusual for us to get above 200,000. We almost never do. And so that's why that's why you rake the sand. That's why you keep the sand maintained to the right level and the right pitch, and the Sandman actually brings clean and dry sand from in the front and moves it to the back, and it just kind of aerates and dries out the whole thing real nice. Like it kind of aerates it, and it dries out any of the damp spots real nicely. I like to have my herd under 150,000. We almost always do. The whole industry has now. I'm pretty sure it's nationwide. We have to be under 400,000 just to keep selling our milk. It could be your milking procedures. Basically, it's bacteria gets into the udder through the teats. That's it. And if the teats are laying in a nice dry sand, dry bedding, then they're going to be healthier. There isn't going to be the bacteria getting in. Now, it can also get in during milking time from bad milking procedures or lousy milking equipment. The sand bedding hasn't been maintained in weeks. That's all. Going to be raising cell counts and increasing mastitis, and low cell counts. Low cell counts are something that is it's taste. It's also shelf life. So we have to keep the cell counts low. The Sandman, I wouldn't be without Sandman ever. If mine broke this afternoon, I'd tell Alan, get another one over here by tomorrow. I mean, it's that important to me. No, the Sandman it's an outstanding product. It just and there's been almost no repairs. The grater wears out once there's a grater blade that you might have to flip it over, and then an occasional spring, but you know, we use it every day. And I know that our nutritionist that covers a lot of Wisconsin, and he has partners that cover pretty much the whole country. And he comes here, and he tells me that our sand bedding is maintained perfectly. He says, you can't believe what I see out there. I don't know, you probably go around to other farms more than I do, and I don't get to other farms hardly at all, but he said some of the sand bedding out there is terribly neglected. It's wet and it's low and it's dirty, and you know, like I said, if we don't care about our industry, who does? I mean, we gotta keep the quality up, and not only that, you know, with this day, with the media nowadays, and everybody with a cell phone can make a video. You know, if somebody goes into your barn and they see the sand has got holes in it, it's all muddy and dirty, and nobody's taking care of it, they can get a video clip of that, and that can get on television by that night. You know, and so we treat our animals here as good as you can treat animals. I mean, we give them a clean, dry place to sleep, and quality air to breathe, and we try to build our fences and things without, you know, things to injure the cattle, like bolts sticking out, or, you know, we were always thinking of keeping them nice and comfortable. Every one of our animals have a name. We probably, when we bought Sandman, we probably named a calf Sandman, you know. On the Sandman, I mean, another thing that we didn't talk much about, but, you know, one of the things that if days in milk is like an echo of your breeding program. Okay, if your breeding program is working, your days in milk will be around 175, give or take 5. Okay, and we're convinced, after being here since I was 17, which was a long time ago, that having the cow laying slightly uphill gets that drainage and gets that uterus cleaned up faster, so she can, so you can get that cow pregnant again sooner. Our last test, our last month of July, our average days in milk was 158, and if I looked over the whole year, and at one point we hit 175, but it's always lower than that. Days in milk is 175 or less, you can survive anything, any kind of disaster that comes your way. So I was anxious to check mine when I got home and see where we were. But that's another thing the Sandman can help you with, because you can groom your sand, you know, so it's like 3 inches higher in the front than it is in the back. And you'll see those cows, they're draining properly. They get that infection and whatever, you know, this isn't something. Bedding properly maintained, you know, can keep your cell counts lower. You'll have your production up for sure. With lower cell counts, and then you can get your breed. It also helps your breeding program. I'm sure that it helps your breeding program. I'm absolutely convinced. I mean, if we didn't have Sandman, we'd get up there and I'd teach them to rake that sand just a little bit up. You know, I'd have to, but when you're not there, they ain't gonna do it. You know, you rake them straws. Oh yeah. You know? So it gets the job done, is what it does. It gets the job done, and it's not that much money. I mean, if I didn't have a Sandman, I'd go get one. I mean, if mine broke, I'd honest to God, I'd have another one tomorrow. I would not be here. I wouldn't be in this business without one. Right? This relatively is not a large herd. We got 330 cows. I mean, if you had 1,000 cows with sand bedding, you know, who's going to rake them? I mean, you ain't going to get, you know, you're not going to get, you know, I mean, you're not going to get anybody to want to work that hard. And they'll be so tired from doing that, they won't do anything else. You know, it's just, I mean, we've done it, you know, I've done it. It's crazy. Brutal. It's brutal. So, so, you know, it just takes the work out of it. Gets it done. If you got sand bedding, you've got to have a way to groom it, or it's not going to work. So, that's it.